Hi everybody and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we are doing a part 2 of basically my Nuva Ring experience. It's been a year since I started the Nuva Ring, and so I just wanted to give some updates, answer some questions, and just let you guys in on what's been going on. If you're new here, definitely subscribe, stick around. I have a lot of different videos about a lot of different personal topics, so let's just get into it. To kick off this video, I just want to talk about the fact that not a ton has changed since my first review. I did that review and kind of follow me around for the first 3 months of my Nuva Ring, and now I'm a year later. So not much has changed from my initial thoughts. Obviously I've gotten better at inserting it, but some days it's not as easy to insert it, and you know, some days it's hard to take it out and things like that. So not much has changed in the actual physical department of what my thoughts on the Nuva Ring are. It's definitely something that is a personal choice, and I think that was something I saw a lot in the comments was, oh, I tried the Nuva Ring and this happened, I tried the Nuva Ring and that happened. And it's just important to know that birth control is always going to be so personal to the individual person. I think taking birth control is a personal thing too. I have friends that are super adamant on it and I have friends that aren't, and I think, you know, everyone works, their body works in different ways. For me, it's been very effective and I love it. As I mentioned in my last video as well, it has been hard to kind of measure like my mood, weight gain, that kind of stuff, because the whole world basically shut down once I started taking the Nuva Ring. Not obviously because of me using the Nuva Ring, for other obvious reasons. The world did shut down. So in the term of a year, I gained over 25 pounds and I stopped exercising, and I think that this time really put a lot of us into a different headspace, but I feel overall I've been really positive through the whole thing. And so I don't think that the Nuva Ring had a ton of impact on any of those things. If you've seen my other videos on like hair loss and stuff like that, I've heard now that Nuva Ring can cause hair loss, but honestly I haven't seen any more hair loss than I was before I started the Nuva Ring, so I would say that wasn't something that affected me by using the Nuva Ring. Because this video has literally so little updates, I wanted to answer some questions that I got on my last video of just things people were wondering, or maybe I didn't go in depth enough about. Again, this is all just my personal experience, so do what you will with this information. The first question I'm going to answer is, when you first got the Nuva Ring, did the doctor insert it the first time, or was it strictly something you do yourself all the way? So this is definitely something you do by yourself the whole way. When I went to go get my Nuva Ring, my birth control re-upped by my gynecologist, she said that she would normally give me a sample when I re-up my Nuva Ring, but because there hasn't been a lot of reps into the clinics because of the pandemic, she didn't have any. So basically all they do is show it to you and maybe give you a sample before you leave, but no, you're 100% on your own in this respect. She did like give me some tips on how to insert it, but honestly I didn't even remember them. I just went home and Googled it and watched YouTube videos, and that was the easiest way for me to figure it out. But yes, it is 100% on your own. Unlike an IUD where they're going to insert it, where your gynecologist inserts it and takes it out for you, the Nuva Ring is all by yourself. You are on your own 100% of the time, which I kind of like. I like that I'm not dependent on going into my doctor to get it put in and taken out, but that's just a personal preference for me. I know my body the best, so I know, you know, when I put it in, if it's not going right, if I'm gonna have to take it back out or anything like that. So yes, 100% on your own in this department. The next question I got is, I'm feeling some discomfort. Is that normal? And this one, I think, again, as I've said many times, birth control is so personal and everyone has different ways, their body has different ways of coping with things. So normal is really not an easy, there's no answer to is it normal. But I will say, just as the first time you ever put a tampon in, the first time anything like that, you're putting a foreign thing in your body that your body isn't used to. So for me, that meant a lot of pressure. Obviously, because the Nuva Ring is really small and, you know, flexible and all that stuff. So it's not like, you know, it's not like anything else you might put up there, but it is gonna cause some pressure because your body is adjusting and adapting and, you know, figuring out what this is and how to live with it. You will probably feel some sort of discomfort, but it shouldn't be like sharp or painful or like you can't ignore it kind of discomfort. If that's happening, I would definitely recommend taking it out and talking to your doctor. Maybe this isn't the right option for you, but you just want to keep in mind that a little discomfort is probably normal. A little bit of pressure is probably normal, but anything that's uncontrollable or ignorable. It's not a word, but that is probably not normal. So definitely check with your doctor. Always call your doctor. I love my gynecologist. If you don't, go find one that you love, because life's too short not to love someone who's going up there at least once a year. So yes, call your doctor if you feel the discomfort is abnormal. The next question I'm going to answer is, do you have any tips on taking it out? And I think this is something I did talk about in my last video, and it's definitely TMI, so if you don't want to know, just skip ahead a little bit. But basically, my biggest tip is you want to completely disrobe. Don't have your pants on, don't have your underwear on, have nothing on. Take all the clothing off. You can leave your top on, but just take all the clothing off the bottom. And you're going to want to put your foot, for me, this is what works. I put my foot up on the toilet or on the bathtub or something like that, and I need to thrust my hips forward, and I can put it in. I usually squeeze the middle of the Nuva Ring to make it more of like an 8. I don't twist it. Some people will twist the Nuva Ring. I also do not recommend, I think I said this in my last video too, I do not recommend trying to get it as small as possible. Get it more to the like shape that, like a tampon that you're more used to putting up there, and that's going to make it a lot easier. The other tip that I have when inserting my Nuva Ring personally is to get it over your cervix, and you will feel your cervix. Sometimes mine are low, sometimes they're high. It really depends on the person, the day, the time. But yeah, you're gonna put it on up there, get it over your cervix, live with it for a second, see how it feels. You will definitely know if it's starting to fall out or not in properly. But yeah, my biggest tip, disrobe, thrust forward, and foot on surface. The next question was weight gain, hair loss, anxiety. So again, really hard to determine exactly what affected all these things for me, but I did gain weight. I do have hair loss, but that was prevalent before, and I already have anxiety. That's already a thing that I live with and am medicated for. So do I think any of these got worse? No. Because of the Nuva Ring? No. But obviously I did gain a lot of weight, but I think that had to do with other things in my life, not so much the Nuva Ring itself. Next question is, how soon after taking out the ring did you get your period? So again, this is more personal. I have a very, very light period. Some months I don't get it. Some months like last month I had the period from hell in my like realm, because I had a full-blown period for 7 days and I had like a lot of flow, where normally my period is, I can put a tampon in some days I don't have to. It's very like hit or miss, which if you haven't seen my last video, I don't have a partner, so I'm not worried about getting pregnant. This is more to balance my hormones and make me feel safe. It's really going to depend on your period and how often and when you get it. But for me personally, I would say usually I'll take it out on a Sunday, and by Wednesday I have my period. So it is a little bit longer, but even before I was on the Nuva Ring, that's how my period was. It came a few days after it should. So there you go. Next question is, does it help with acne? So this is not something I got on for acne. I've actually been on birth control since the age of like 12 or 13 because I did have really bad acne, and I was on the pill, and that's what my dermatologist put me on. And I was on the pill up until I started the Nuva Ring, and I'm obviously not a doctor. I don't know anything about this, but what I was always told growing up is that the pill has estrogen and proestrogen, which are two different types of hormones, and the combination of the two is what helps with acne. And so if you just have one or just have the other, I don't think it has the same effect. But if you are looking to get on birth control for acne, the pill's probably your best route. But again, talk to your dermatologist, talk to your gynecologist. They're obviously going to be way more informed than the girl on the internet that's talking to you in this video. So talk to your doctors about getting it for acne, but I haven't seen any worse acne, any less acne. It's pretty much stayed the same since I started the Nuva Ring, so there you go. The next question I have is, or next question I'm going to answer is the fridge. So this was something that I thought was really interesting, that people didn't know you had to keep the Nuva Ring in the fridge, and I did see some comments of people saying you can leave it out of the fridge. I personally live in Arizona, and so leaving the rings in my cabinet just wouldn't work, just purely based on the surface of the sun heat that we get here. In the winter, maybe I could leave it out, but I just want my birth control to work exactly how it should. So I do keep mine in the fridge, and then I just take it out like right before I'm gonna put it in. I just rip open the pack, take it out, rip it open, and put it in. Do you have to keep it in the fridge? Talk to your doctor. Mine told me to keep it in the fridge, but It's something, the box is so slim and easy to keep in your fridge. You can literally keep it in the back, like behind your condiments, like no one will ever know. And if someone does notice, it's a great opportunity to talk to people about birth control and safe sex. A DM that someone actually sent me that wasn't a comment from this video was asking about when to insert the Nuva Ring. Again, I think I might have covered this in my last video, but I'll just go over it again in case I didn't hit it home enough. Personally, my doctor told me to start it just as I would the pill. So usually you would start the pill the Sunday that your period ends. And so you insert the ring on a Sunday. If you're new to starting birth control, you want to wait, or new to starting the Nuva Ring, you want to wait until you've had your period and then on that Sunday. So not the day you get home from the doctor, not, you know, whenever you want, put it in the Sunday after your period. I have put it in while I'm still bleeding. I've taken it out while I'm bleeding. It just depends on your period, but that shouldn't really have an effect on it. That is all the questions that I'm going to answer for this video. I hope that it was slightly informative. Maybe you learned something new. Maybe you have even more questions about the Nuva Ring. If you have any questions that you want to hear from my personal experience, leave them in the comments down below. I'm pretty good about responding to comments, especially when it comes to things like this. Or you can shoot me a DM on Instagram. Follow me while you're there, maybe. But yeah, thanks so much for watching. Subscribe if you aren't already, and I will see you guys in my next video.
Through the gray.